What would you say are the most common indoor air quality or home or building environment issues that a lot of people are probably not aware of?
Prior to this conversation, I had not looked up radon specifically for Australia. I was curious as to how much of an issue it was there. Was it an issue at all? And from the research I was able to do, it's really not much of a problem where you're located, but it's a significant issue where we are. So that's something that is very, very much based on your region and what part of the world you're located in and the geology of that area. So it's a big, big issue. And it's something that is really kind of interesting if you look at the history of it, because whenever we were first made aware of it and first became very public through the 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, there was a fair amount of knowledge about it going around, but a lot of people just kind of wrote it off because it's odorless, it has no color, it's completely colorless, it's tasteless. So we have no way of knowing about its presence through our normal olfactory senses. We just can't detect it at all. So unless we actually test for its presence in our home, we have no idea.
So there are certainly places in Australia where there is uranium. We've, had a history of mining it. So is it more where it's in that larger concentration?
It is a combination of the actual geology in that specific area, and it does get very, very specific to what is the geology literally under your home.
Right.
So you do have regional variations that can be pretty significant. Where I'm at in Pennsylvania and through a lot of the northeastern states, it's pretty prevalent kind of wherever you are. But even within that, you can have tremendous variations just home to home to home.
What about then it's going out into the air above your home and it's still in the air and in the neighbourhood, potentially you might have a whole lot of homes with these pipes. What's the deal then with the general air quality of the neighbourhood or whatever?
For the most part, the concentrations, once they mix with the natural outdoor air, get down to a low enough level that it's not a health issue. It's really whenever it's in our homes, homes are subjected to what's called the stack effect, which is basically our homes act like a giant chimney. So it's at a more negative pressure lower in the home, and then that air basically gets sucked in from your base level, whether it's your basement, crawl space, or if it's a slab on grade, it would be that main floor. And then that air moves naturally up through the home. So that basement tends to be under a much higher degree of suction. So it's actually sucking in the gas from around the home. And that's why it can begin to accumulate. And then homes typically don't exhaust very well, and they're not really designed to. So it gets trapped, and that's where the radon levels can accumulate to levels that they can get very unsafe.
So is it more of an issue in our modern homes now that are built to, as you said, kind of keep everything in?
Definitely can, because your older homes, they breathe more. Looking at it sort of historically, indoor air quality wasn't a huge issue because of a lot of the materials that we used and the types of building construction. They did breathe more. They were poorly insulated, so air moved through the home pretty rapidly. So you had a lot more diffusion with the outdoor air. And then as time progressed, we went to a period, especially in the States here, where we did some things that were great for efficiency, but very, very bad for indoor air quality. We're building homes very, very tight. We're not allowing them to breathe at all. And some of those situations that we still come across from the 80s and 90s where they caused mold problems because of the ways that they were constructed and just doing things that at the time we thought was a great idea, and now we know it wasn't, as well as the building materials that we use being more susceptible to water and everything like that. But now we're finally getting to a point where we're recognizing more of the indoor air quality implications, going back to that idea that homes need to breathe, but doing it in a way that it's controlled and it is controlling for the temperature, so we're not wasting tons of electricity or energy trying to keep our home conditioned while at the same time letting it breathe, which is always that kind of balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, thank you. No, I think it was exactly the same here as far as how homes were built